Yeah, we're in front of the reef, guys! Now, in order to have a successful reef, what do we gotta do? We can't just add the fish straight to the tank, right? Gonna be pretty important to quarantine them so this tank doesn't get infected. I quarantine all my fish on the freshwater side of the hobby. To quarantine new saltwater fish and corals, or not to quarantine new saltwater fish and corals. Now, it's time to build a quarantine setup for the saltwater tank. We're gonna go ahead and start with a 150 watt heater that I used when I was making the salt water for the system. So the next thing that we're working on here is the sponge filter. Very small sponge filter, nothing insane. This is something I've had laying around for quite some time, and it's time to go ahead and put this thing to use. What we need to do is put this onto this part of the sponge, then the bottom goes into place here. You'll hear it click in. Got our air line, running the line through this. Then go ahead and set the tube, the air tube, into the sponge. Then go ahead and slide this, and there we go. We got our sponge filter set up, and drop it into place. Then we got the simple whisper air pump. These are super quiet, and that's something that you're gonna definitely want in a room you're in a lot. Something that's nice and quiet. There's a little splitter, which I guess I could use if I want. But there we go, a little single outlet whisper pump. Now we just add water to it. We got the power here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in. Set on the glass. Squeezing the air out of the sponge so that it actually sits. Check out this nifty little air valve that came with the kit. I've never had one of these before to control the airflow. That is pretty slick. Like I said, I've never had that before on one of these. Release now. That is so nice. Because I'm not going to want this thing to go crazy all day until I get some kind of lid, because I don't want splashing and salt creep. But that is pretty rad. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to test the salinity of the water, because this water's been mixed for a while. So we're going to go ahead and test it with the HANA salinity checker. So the salinity came back at 1.027. I'm going to add some RODI water into here just to bring that down a smidge. Since we topped it off with RODI water to try to bring that salinity down, let's go ahead and retest it. Alright, we got our reading, 1.026 salinity, and it's 80.3 degrees. We're good. After you're done with your HANA instrument salinity tester, go ahead and rinse it off in RODI water. It gets all the probes and everything clean for storage. And make sure you dry it off. So I'm marking this here as the maximum level that the water could be at all times. So when things evaporate, I top it off with RODI water and the salinity will be good. I'm using the Dr. Tim's one and only live nitrifying bacteria for the tank to help it cycle really quick. Couple good notes here is that it says to shake well, best to use entire contents, minimum of 2 capsules for 10 gallons, cannot be overdosed. So my plan is this is for 30 gallons, and I'm going to use more than half of it because you can't overdose it. Let's go! That's good. You want it to be nice and cloudy. That means that all the bacteria is mixed in there well. Alright, so what you want to do along with the Dr. Tim's is you want to add this ammonium chloride from Dr. Tim's if you're doing a fishless cycle. And all the directions are here. It says that, let's see, it tells you how many drops to use and whatnot, or 1 milliliter per 20 gallons. So 1 ml per 20 gallons. Now this syringe is a 1, so just got to fill it up to 0.5. and give it a shot. Okay, here's 0.5. We're full of the solution, so we're gonna go ahead and add it. There we go. So again, this is the food for the bacteria because the bacteria needs food in order to thrive. So bam, you use this when you go fishless. So since I got the big Y check valve, I don't need to have these with the holes in them for back siphoning. There we go. So if you see right here, you can see that hole. That is for back siphoning. So we don't need that. It is a safety measure, but you'll see what I'm gonna do. Time to rewrap this with some pipe tape. New threaded piece here without the hole for back siphoning. There we go. Hook this back up to the pipe and put it back in place. There we go. In place. Rock and roll. So what we're gonna do now is, now that this is back in place, as long as I have these right here level with these teeth, if there's ever any power outage and say the Y fails, from what I can gather, obviously once the water stops flowing through here, obviously it's gonna stop going into the sump. We're gonna flip it back on. Well, that one came out easy. We got a syringe, we got test tubes. Let's see if this dude cycled. I got this at my local pharmacy. It's a 10 millimeter syringe, which is super nice because that'll fill up 2 of these. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to only test ammonia and nitrite because I know that these were elevated because I checked. So I know if these are perfect, then I'll test the nitrate and then we'll know for sure. Now we wait 5 minutes. All right, so this is the water from the main display. We're gonna test the ammonia and the nitrite on this tank as well. All right, so while we're waiting for the 5 minutes on the main tank, let's take a look at the quarantine tank. And as you can see, it's definitely still got ammonia. And I mean, that's pretty, you can see the nitrites are at 0, it looks like. We're going to test the pH and the nitrates on the main tank. pH. Ammonia. Nitrite. And nitrate. Yeah, guys, let's take a look here. Nothing special whatsoever. We got, again, our line here to know where to top it off with RODI. We got our temp, sponge, everything's going and cycling. This is pretty cool here. One of my friends went on vacation and brought all this back except for that for me, so that was pretty rad. And go ahead and we'll turn around over here. Look at this beaut. So we're running the red filter right now. As you can see, what it does is it pulls the blue out of the lighting so that it has a more natural look. Let's go ahead and take that away. See what I mean? Bam, look at that. See? That's why that red filter is so nice. It really goes and it takes away all of the blue, so you really get a good idea of what it looks like. But man, this is so awesome. And of course, can't forget to show some love to the sump system here, like Pro Clear. This thing is so great, guys. Look at that. Gotta clean that up. But yeah, gotta show some love to the sump system too. Can't forget that. As you guys can hear as well, no more bubbles. We got that fixed. That's awesome. Way quieter. How beautiful does this tank look? And there's nothing in it besides rock and sand. Man. So the build is actually almost coming to an end. But after the builds, we gotta get fish, coral, and all that good stuff. So we're just starting if you think about it. But the build is coming to an end. We got the 120-gallon reef tank. We got the 10-gallon quarantine tank. We're not messing around over here. We're gonna get this thing done right. I've been taking my time. This thing is awesome. If you guys could like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, that'd be awesome, guys. Stay tanked.